This is the presence of impossible light activity that you're seeing not only based on its physical location that is appearing underneath the doorway. You see that when the entity is aiming engineered light literally underneath the doorway. That is impossible light activity, by the way. I'm just laughing because it's so ridiculous what the entity routinely does. It aims light underneath into doorways, into the depths of rooms. It hits objects like such as windows, and then the object that it hits, the light lays flat on the interior of a building. That's actually impossible, unnatural light activity, which is very common. I see it on TV. I see it. It's not normal light activity. It's engineered light. All right. But I want to be clear. This is impossible light activity, not only based on its location, underneath a doorway, underneath a covered structure. All right, where this is supposedly the sun that's above us. Sunlight isn't doing those sorts of gymnastics, okay? To reach underneath and into, like the entity is doing. And you also have the added evidence of what is the light source that's over me. That's also how you know it's impossible light activity. It is the ongoing endeavor to touch all over surfaces with what is not even natural light. You have added context because you're seeing the light that's appearing above my head in my apartment, where then the sun is. If you're following, well, that's sunlight because there's a sun. Okay, well, then you have a problem when you're looking at the light above my head and the sun is outside of the living room window. What is the explanation for that? And what I am telling you is that what I am showing you, what you are witnessing, okay, is what is insurmountable evidence of the fact that none of this is normal sunlight, and this is not the normal behavior of sunlight either, and it is also that which you are not paying attention to. But this engineered light nonetheless covers the grounds. It's engineered light, as I've referred to it, directed light, and not only is this the evidence of what is directed light, which its very location and the behavior of that engineered light, as you see inside of my apartment, as you see inside of my office, okay, the entity is engaging in what is creating what I call like a smoke, rectangular shaped, like smoky light. All right, it just appears out of nowhere like a mirage or something, but it's light, and you can see my shadow. I take pictures of it, I take video of it. That's impossible light activity, and it's demonic. You see it inside of my apartment. That's terrorism via directed light. This is what the demon possessed are doing when they're driving their cars, and engineer light is moving all over the grounds, and all. Sunlight doesn't do that, and sunlight doesn't appear out of nowhere on surfaces either. That's for purposes of keeping you surrounded with this very light. This light is key. It is central. Okay, it is the core of what is this group stalking, and it's also demonic. So in addition to what is the location of light that's appearing underneath the structure, the sun is above us. Okay, so downward trajectory of light. At no point is light engaging in this gymnastic type of conduct, this behavior that you see, creating what is the shape of the door is what you've seen, and it's lying flat going inside of the room. That's impossible light. And then you have demons that are maintaining presence in that to monitor me in the workplace. All of that is legally relevant. At 12:38 p.m. today in 2022, I am inside of 450 North Euclid Avenue, the Upland Public Library. That's also why it's impossible light activity. And it is also capturing what is not possibly the sun. The sun is an exclusive source, right? There's only one. So we've been told. There's only one, but yet it is remaining over me at one address. This is supposedly where the sun, not supposedly, this is where the sun is purportedly, because this is what you're looking at, the light source, and it's supposedly rising here. Rising here is not over the south side of 225 South Euclid Avenue, the Ontario Museum, where when I was nowhere near Los Angeles, certainly not even in this direction. I guarantee you this, my living room window that's facing the hillside, I can only see this hillside. Can't see the sunrise from my bedroom window. Is not in the same sky space, shared location, perfect alignment with, going to be seen over the south side of the Ontario Museum of History and Arts at 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay. And that's what the entity was doing. And that's why you document, so that the world can understand what it is that is being revealed. This is an unnatural environment, and it is impossible. It is a scientific impossibility that the sun is rising here while it is remaining present here. Okay. And this is, again, hours later. That's 12:42 p.m. That's nothing but audible activity. All 59 units here are going to federal prison, and that's called a desperate act by demons who are witnessing me expose them. So you have the light source that's remaining over the Upland Public Library at 450 North Euclid Avenue in Upland, California. And there is no light, there's no sun over that library while you're looking at that video documentation, which I will upload to the Compare the P.O.C. folder. And and the light source which is remaining over me for the duration of the day, where this is supposedly the sun that's rising, and then you're remembering evidence of the sun also rising over 2301 South Euclid Avenue at 7:48 in the morning over the pool at Economy Inn, and it's also setting there. And if that's the sunset, then that presupposes that the sun stays there all day long in order to be there at 6:52 p.m. to engage in what is setting at the same address. Scientific impossibility. And then you have all of the ongoing evidence of what is maintaining a light source for the duration of the day in Los Angeles. That's a grand departure from engaging in what is nonetheless scientifically impossible, but the entity did it and I documented it, from sunrise until sunset at 2301 South Euclid Avenue. Sunrise until sunset at 225 South Euclid Avenue in Ontario, California, the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. And you are witnessing in Los Angeles now amongst demons who are hostile and can't think of anything else other than sounding their alarms. They can stalk by helicopter. Everybody's going to federal prison for the tons of times that I documented that. But they're going to federal prison anyway. But nonetheless, it was literally putting signed, sealed, delivered time in federal prison, acting in concert with LAPD in the environment where the sun is documented, rising and setting in alignment to my apartment windows, okay? Not only is that not the natural environment, not only is that impossible to naturally occur, it is not coexisting with rising and setting at 225 South Euclid Avenue. It is not in alignment and under any circumstances going to coexist or naturally occur through the one sun, the natural environment that is supposedly arriving in other states as well, and in Northern California, and such as Nevada, all right, who supposedly we've got one sun, but yet it's rising and setting at 2301 South Euclid Avenue as a matter of documentation. This is why you document. And this is also how you understand what is impossible light activity. And you're understanding what is an environment that is specifically maintained around a person that is subject to surveillance. And it is also revealing to the condition. Those that are in that unnatural, which is synonymous with demonic, because the behavior of this light is also speaking to the condition of those in that environment. There's no sun that's over the Upham Public Library while it's hovering over me while I'm facing building 1810, still looking at the same hillside where this alleged sun was rising in the morning. That's never naturally occurring. It's impossible. And that's capturing the pattern of conduct at Upham Public Library, a state facilitating venue where the Upham Police Department engaged in kidnapping while they were placing me under surveillance, just like the Ontario Police Department. Okay, engaging in what is criminal summoning, just like the Fontana Police Department, while they were engaged in surveillance. At no point is that going to be the natural environment over my head, meaning the light source, not the sun, at 9 o'clock in the morning, at 10:40 in the morning, facing that same library, and I'm there as late as 7 p.m. And Sergeant Rice has directed light on his face. The same light you see on my ceiling, that's the engineered light on his face. He's a demon and he's group stalking, and the most pathetic posture of a law enforcement officer is group stalking somebody. Not only are you a criminal, you're a freak weirdo, but you're a demon possessed one. And that is speaking to what are the levels of dysfunction and what is depravity and criminality and hypocrisy. It is entirely unfortunate that this is the reality of what's going on with law enforcement. But I want to be clear, all those facts are tethered together, and it is showing what is insurmountable evidence of the environment where group stalking, because that's what this is, and that's the significance of the environment. In other words, that's the why as to how you are able to capture it. So you're understanding the scientific impossibility. No, that's not, we can all agree, that's not possibly the sun that's over the Upham Public Library at 12:38 p.m. on this day at the same time at 450 North Euclid Avenue, while it's hovering over me right here. And because you know that it's not going anywhere, it stays here, because at the end of the day, remember this morning my shadow was on this side. All it's doing is it's here, and then my shadow is on this side. The entity's light source is directly above my head. That's the pattern of conduct. Demon stalking in the path. ASXD758 is Dupree. He's going to federal prison. Using his car alarm as a means of audible activity, which is also harassment by a hostile demon. And you know that because of the light source. You know that because of the impossible light activity. You know that because of the heavy stalking by the state. All right? The entity, as I documented, that's P.O.C. So the entity was engaged in criminal summoning in concert with a minor. I want to document that. I captured in images and the text messages by a third-party group stalker who lives here. At the same time, I'm capturing images of group stalking in concert with a minor, contributing to the delinquency of minors, is what these corrupt law enforcement agencies are doing and facilitating. All right, and this is what the people of the state are doing. That's why you're removing them from custody. You have a minor child engaging in surveillance, because that's all they're doing in the laundry room, and their demons having a fit, slamming machines. That's called relevant positioning, audible activity in the specific environment under no sun. That's a light source that I'm documenting today in 2022 at the same time while they're engaging in what is audible activity creation. All right, it is currently, again, 12:47 p.m. What you're going to remember from what you just saw, the entity is maintaining a light source on the same time of year, daylight savings time, over the San Bernardino Superior Court. Okay, so where the light source is over me at Alvarado Gardens at 12 38, 12:47, which is the time now. You have an ongoing, seamless, consistent body of evidence of what is not the natural environment. And this is documented at a legally relevant location, and that is the San Bernardino Superior Court, where, by the way, this same entity engaging in stalking at that location, that is the San Bernardino Police Department, flying over my head in a helicopter while I'm sitting at the plaza in front of the San Bernardino Superior Court during daylight savings time, 12:47 p.m., the exact same time. All right, that is speaking to while you're looking at the light source hovering over me, and David Dupree is being a whole demon, using his vehicle as a means of stalking in the path with light, that the location of his parked vehicle, that's why that particular demon crosses path and moves, is engaging what is crossing path using his vehicle and the alarm. But it's also in the specific environment. There's no sun. The exclusive sun is over me in LA. It's not over the courthouse. And it's impossible that would be occurring at the same time. That's the significance of capturing even down to the same minute and hour. And that's why I did that. In order to understand, the sun is not something that's maintaining ubiquitous presence, all right, over everyone, everywhere in its zenith from beginning to the end of the day. That's not the sun. That's not the behavior of the sun. That is not what NASA has told us about the environment either. And the entity is engaging in what is maintaining an environment. It's a demonic imitation of the natural environment, and it's not even logical. It defies science and common sense, and it is clearly demented. Light above your head, multiple shadows, upright shadows, magnified shadows, shadows in the shade, light reaching under, this is common sense, reaching underneath into doorways, into the depths of a room. All you have to do is pay attention to that. All you have to do is pay attention to that. That's entirely impossible. And that demonic endeavor, that demonic obsession is personified through what the entity does with light and what it does with its light source. Obsessive stalking with the light source. Obsessive pursuit and stalking and following, arriving directly above my head in my bedroom. That's demonic. That's a stalker via light. That's what they all are. They're all stalking in that environment. And that stalking is underway at the San Bernardino Superior Court. There's no sun that at this time that's remaining over my head while I'm documenting the helicopter flying over and the light source over my head in San Bernardino. That's not the sun that's outside of my leasing office right now in Los Angeles. The two are not happening at the same time, at no time of year, under any circumstances. It's the P.O.C. It is currently 12:50 p.m. This is documenting again what is the pattern of conduct that I remain subject to. The grounds of federal prison, where you are providing systematic assistance. Criminal facilitation is how it's referred to. You do so systematically, you do so, and you wind up in federal prison. The government is under no circumstances possessing any constitutional bases to place an innocent American citizen under surveillance. And it's doing so in the most profound in so far as what I mean by profound, mean unheard of and deranged methods. Okay, they're demonic, meaning they're so malicious. It's something that someone cannot fathom, that a government alone, but let alone people, would engage in. All right, and I've enveloped what is the entity engaging in its own criminal system, showing you how it does it, and also letting you know why. This corruption is inspired by demon possession, the reality of demonic activity, and understanding and witnessing what it looks like. And it tries to look just like you, normal. That's what it looks like, contrary to what you see in movies, levitating and breathing out. No, it wants to look as normal and unassuming and as commonplace as you would assume. Whatever your preconceived notions are, that's what Satan wants to appear as. And that is to deceive you. And it's also relevant that it's underway by a government, especially in the United States. All of that is relevant to malice. Okay? It's supposed to falsely depict the targeted individual, alleging that they, again, and how do you even come up with the fact that, how do you articulate the fact that light is pursuing you, is following you? Okay, that sounds demented. But let me be clear, that is no reflection on the targeted individual. It reflects on, it is telling of the entity that's engaging in that psychotic and demonic criminal pattern of conduct. Okay? It is currently 12:52 p.m. and this is P.O.C.